The people inside still have lots of questions. They can't bring themselves to believe or to understand what has happened.
This world gonna come to an end and all sorts of stuff like that. I mean, I have sat in plenty of his meetings, and he be telling people, you know, it's gonna be a race war and all that. You know, having people thinking, you know, they got, you know, leave the states, and the people left the states. He just set them up. That's what I think.
Does it surprise you what's happened?
It surprised the hell out of me.
Why are you here now?
I got a brother over there in Guyana.
What do you expect to find out here?
I don't know, something. What I can, you know.
Have you gotten any word from inside at all?
No, I haven't.
It's your daughter?
Yes, it is.
And she's in the church?
Yeah, she's in that jungle over there.
What, have you heard anything about her at all?
Yeah, she wrote to me in August. That's the last time I heard from her directly. Yeah, she wrote, I got a letter from her in August. I must imagine she had some faith in it. She had to follow him, you know.
Have you heard from her in the last day or two?
No, sir. That's what I'm on pins now. I don't know whether she's living or dead.
In terms of the view, I think that he's a con man from the first beginning. And I stated this to my mother-in-law before she even got deeply down into her, my grandmother-in-law. It's my mother-in-law's mother.
Where is she now?
She's over there in Ghana, wherever they have the place over there. That's where she's at now. She's 70-some years old.
Have you heard from her at all?
I think they have 2 letters from her, but the way the letters was written, I didn't like the way it was.
And what about now?
I think she's dead. That's the way I feel about it. I think she's dead. I called my mother-in-law this morning and asked her did she hear any reports of it, and I told her to call the radio station to find out if she could hear just what happened to her mother.
What are your emotional feelings about all this?
Bad. Bad. My emotional feelings are very bad.
His name?
Tommy Price.
And what's your feeling? What do you know about the People's Temple? When did he get with the People's Temple? What happened?
I was there 8 years. Tommy was 9 months old when I met Jim Jones.
Right. Please tell me your feelings about what happened and how did you get in with the People's Temple?
Oh, God.
Leo Ryan, the body of the congressman brought home to San Francisco shortly before 8 this morning. Some of his family and about 30 friends on hand in the rain to meet the plane when it touched down at San Francisco International Airport. Services are scheduled for the congressman tomorrow in the South San Francisco area.
The family wants to remain together, wants privacy, and with the support of the press, this statement. They want to stay together, and they are doing very well and holding up by supporting one another. They've asked that this statement be the only statement given to the press on their behalf. They and the staff and all of us feel a very, very deep loss from Congressman Ryan's death. It resulted and it occurred just as he had lived in a very courageous manner, helping somebody who really was not in a position to help themselves. The impact of Leo Ryan's life and his death is going to be felt in this community for many, many years.
I last talked with Congressman Ryan, and he said, "Madam, do you realize it is midnight down here?" And I said, "Oh, yes, I'm well aware of it, but I have a deadline." And Just give me a few minutes. He said, I have to be up at 5 o'clock, 5 hours from now. And I said, what in the name of heaven are you going to do in Guyana at 5 o'clock in the morning? Nobody goes to bed until then. And he said, what is it you want to know? So we talked, and I can understand a man being frosty if he's been awakened at 12 o'clock when he has to get up at 5. So I'm probably the last person from the United States who talked with him before he was killed.
After that, they had shot up, they shot at us, and I was one of the people that was lucky to get past it because I felt the bullet go past my head. I knew they were going to go through with it. There's no way that Jones, he knew that he was done for then, so I knew he would execute it.
Was it a suicide?
I call it mass murder myself. I think that Jones just went crazy. I hate to let him get off like that, but how else could you describe an insane thing like that? I think that Jones did it because he didn't want to be exposed for the inhumane, bizarre, evil things that he was doing. So he was going to take everybody down with him just so that he wouldn't be exposed.
Jim, are there any eyewitnesses actually dead?
I don't know.
The last thing I did is I pleaded with Charles Gary to help me with my son.
What do you think happened?
To my son? I really don't know.
Any reason to be optimistic?
6 years old. You never know. I mean, I don't know.
What do you think the secret of Jones's sway over people was? What sort of hold do you think he had on people, and why do you think he had it?
Jones was a brilliant man. Everybody I talked to, I always told them never to underestimate Jim Jones. Like I said, he was brilliant. He never did anything drastic until the end. He did everything slowly.
So this is the end of the People's Temple as far as you're concerned?
Better be.
Well,
what are the people
why are people so concerned about getting shot? Do you think people will follow his orders anyway?
I don't know. I'm sure these people have gone, they're so sick and their minds are so demented that, they just might want to do it. And, I mean, they're going to do it knowing that they'll get shot. I mean, would you want to live after, what you've been through? I mean, what I heard Debbie Blakey say, I said, I was amazed. I'd known these people for 6 years, and I said, hey, Debbie, I don't know these people anymore.
Roy, I'll make a brief statement to you.
We did, on the 24th of November, obtain arrest warrants based on complaints here in San Francisco for 8 individuals who were charged with the murder of Congressman Ryan in Guyana. We have determined the warrants were sealed at that time, as well as the complaints. The purpose of that was that if any of those persons were alive, we wanted to be certain that they did come back to the United States, if possible. We have now determined that all 8 are deceased, and therefore the warrants have been unsealed, as they are deceased.
Who specifically were the people?
Robert Keiss, Tom Keiss, Joe Wilson, Albert Touchette, Ron James, Eddie Crenshaw, Ron Talley, and Wesley Breitenbach.
There was no indication when the people were in Guyana, when Congressman Ryan was there, that there would be anything. Things looked happy. Mr. Gary included assured everyone that things were nice. And then everything fell in and there was this murder. One wonders if the situation might be parallel here.
I think those are good questions.
No, not a chance.
People are asking.
We have had meetings almost every evening, as a matter of fact, since this situation occurred. And we have crystallized around the position that People's Temple programs are going to continue. It has nothing to do with what Jim Jones stood for, and what he has brought to us has been so vital that we don't intend for it to cease, with or without a personality.
Ruined everything that he built up.
He may have ruined his own image in the community and in the world at large. And that's something we'll have to live with. I don't think that in the long run that nothing is going to hurt any of us in a real sense, beyond that which we do to ourselves.
You can never tell what might have happened there. We're socialists, and all we're hearing that we're some kind of religious fanatics. Well, we're socialists, and you can never tell what happened. We don't know if there's a provocation inside Jonestown. You don't know if there was a move from the inside. Nobody knows. We may never know. But we're saddened. I lost a son there, and we really don't know. But we're socialists, and we will remain socialist.
You don't consider yourself a religious cult?
No, I certainly do not.
Oh,
I resent the fact of hearing this. This is one of the things that we resent. I don't think I've ever heard hardly anything mentioned about socialism.
Would you have?
I'm not in favor of suicide, period.
But would you have?
No.
You don't think he had that kind of power?
Hey, Brian?
You don't think he had that kind of
Not over
power?
me, he didn't. No, sir.
Well, how do you imagine that? Why did you leave, Bertie?
Well, I got tired of, I was seeing how they was treating the older peoples and the childrens, and I couldn't stand it no longer. And the counselor was taking over, and they were just running over Jim, looked like, you know, they was taking over him. They was going to resort over him. And that's the reason why I just couldn't stand it any longer.
What are you concerned at this point?
Well, before I was told by, I knew that there was phone calls to Jim Cobb saying that he had a son and that if he didn't shut up or stop what he was doing to try to help people, that they would do away with his son. They had a son to think about. Well, I have a son too, and I don't want to see anything happen to my son as well as to Jim's son and to any other children that we have.
You've been in the temple.
I have been in the temple.
You are utterly convinced that something could happen.
I'm sure. I am sure. I don't put it past them. If they're going to do away with, have mass suicide, then they wouldn't, like we're nobody type deal, they're not gonna, it'd be easy for them just to do away with us.
Did you have that feeling when you were in the temple as well?
When I left, I did. I've been out since '73, and we've kind of been feared for our lives ever since then.
Why?
Because we still have relatives in the church. We're caught type deal that we didn't know what to do. If we said anything, that they would be hurt.
What do you make of it? What's behind it?
Just Jim Jones is really sick. I mean, he's a sick man, and it's true. His people will do his followers will do anything he wants them to do. I was one of the people who were beaten in the temple. I was beaten 75 times with the board in the congregation. And,
with the what?
With the board, and they held me down and beat me, and when I got up, I couldn't even walk.
Why did they beat you?
Well, I hugged my girlfriend in the parking lot that had left the church, and they figured that she was a traitor, so I was considered a traitor, and that was a no-no to them, so I got beaten for it.
Was that common, beatings?
Yes. It wasn't too common at first, they didn't beat too many people, but then he started getting really sadistic, and he put the microphone up to the person's mouth when they were screaming and crying, and during the beatings, and it was really a sick thing.
How did Martha get involved with People's Temple?
She was going to night school to get her high school diploma, and he was a night school teacher at Ukiah High School.
Did she talk to you about how she got involved, her interest in the church?
She was kind of sketchy about it, but I did know that she was involved in it, and she wanted my youngest daughter to go with her, and I wouldn't allow it.
Why not? What did you think about the whole thing?
I was a school bus driver there at the time, and I could hear the little children on my bus talking about it, and I knew it wasn't a proper place to go.
Why? What was it that got you upset about it?
Well, his demand for money, for one thing. The children in the family could go hungry or without clothes as long as he got his money. That's what I was told. And there was also a member of the church who was trying to get out of it that was a school bus driver, and she told me it. She had been a member in Indiana also.
Tell me a little more about the People's Temple's demand for money from the members.
They demanded that the members give them money if they went hungry, the family went hungry. The children that rode my bus had ragged clothes, and they were hungry. But parents was giving the money to the People's Temple and letting their own children go hungry.
Could you tell me, first of all, why your daughters decided to go to Jonestown? What made them go, do you think?
I think to try to understand any reason why people would become involved in People's Temple involves knowing something about the accidents of history, about their personal histories and their personal journeys, as well as the choices which they have made. And they became involved in People's Temple a number of years ago when they were attracted by the many service ministries of that church caring for human beings, concerns for justice.
From the reports we get, it seems like Jim Jones had a special hold on the people down there. There was something about him that attracted people to him. Any idea what that might be?
Well, he certainly did have the power to attract devoted followers, and some of those followers are worshipers. I never regarded Jim Jones as God. I don't regard Jim Jones as the devil at this point. I think Jim Jones was a child evangelist. And as a child, in all those years growing up, apparently he had the power to attract a following and devoted following, as some people do.
500 victims of Jonestown, unidentified and unclaimed, lie buried in this Oakland cemetery. About 250 family members and survivors were invited to today's memorial ceremony. About 24 showed up.
Gathered together in this place, let us bow our heads in prayer.
It just eases, it lessens, but the pain is still there. And I think of them, there's hardly a week past that I never think of my children and my grandchildren. Especially I can hear their name calling me, ringing in my ears a lot of times. Sometimes I have nightmares thinking about them.
A youth center, a child care center needs to be erected in memory of these children that were killed and lost, and this is what we plan to do.
Someone's crying, Lord, Kumbaya. Someone's crying.